This is the ultimate guide for golf enthusiasts looking to join a country club. We're talking Austin Country Club today and the surrounding area, the good and the bad, the pros and the cons of both the community and the golf course. Stick around to the end and I'll show you some live footage of the actual golf holes. Let's get started on Austin Country Club. Hi, my name is Nicole Cooper. My team and I get calls and emails from people just like you needing help moving in and around Austin, Texas, and we sure do love it. So whether you're looking to move today, tomorrow, or somewhere in between, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We're always available to help you find the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. We're gonna start with a bird's eye view of Austin Country Club so you can see its relation to the lake, the highways, the ravines, the topography and things, so you get an idea of what to expect. Let's jump into the map right now. All right, before we get into the nuts and bolts of all the pros and cons, here is the overhead view of the golf course and the kind of the surrounding area. You've got Lake Austin in the back, the Colorado River. The front 9 of the golf course is down on the water. Those are fronting the lake, most of them, not all of them, but most of them. Then you see you have the Pennybacker Bridge in the background. That's the big view that you see. If you watch the golf tournament Dell Match Play on TV, you saw that image quite a bit. That main highway there running through the middle, that's Highway 360. And in the bottom middle, that is actually the pro shop with the tennis courts, the swimming pool, and the driving range right here. So as you see on these back holes back here, it's more in the ravine and less on the waterfront. All right, so let's get started. What is the best thing about living in Austin Country Club? The first pro we're gonna focus on today is the scenic beauty and upscale living. Take a look at some of these homes in the area that are for sale right now. So all these little red tags are homes that are for sale. They're in the multi-millions for the most part. You can see this one over here by the highway, just under $1 million, and that one is a condo. So if we just look, I want to give you an idea so you can know what to expect from the outside. So in general, when you don't have a water view or a big panoramic vista kind of view, you're going to have these large backyards like this with plenty of room for your pool, your barbecue pit, your outdoor kitchen and things. And then the bigger, higher up on the hill and the more view you have, the more value your home brings. But as you can look around in this area, the homes are in the multi-millions like I mentioned. On this section over here, it's not one big gated area, but you will find little small pockets of gated areas. And while we're speaking on that, the golf course area, the pro shop is gated and the gate is right about here. So this section is gated here, but not the whole golf course. So some of the homes in the golf community, and especially the homes that front the golf course, they're not in the gated section. And in addition, you will not find many homes on the golf course at all. Only these couple of holes back here, you can see very lightly there we go, the houses on the golf course there. You won't find any down on the water side because there's no room for the golf courses. Now what you will find in the Austin Country Club area is you'll find homes that are further away that just have a hilltop view and they can see all the way down to the golf course. So they won't be fronting it, but you'll have golf course views. In addition, sometimes these homes across the lake over here will have golf course views. This one doesn't have a golf course view specifically, but I will give you an idea of what that kind of view looks like. So here's an idea looking back across the water towards Austin Country Club. There's another view back over the water. Some of them are a little bit closer to the lake and, some of them are a little bit closer to Pennybacker Bridge, and therefore you can look over the lake and into the golf course from across the water. So that's an option. And generally speaking, the homes on this northern side of the lake are a little bit less expensive than on the southern side, which leads us into our pro number 2, and that's the school system. So everything down here on the southern side, that is going to feed into Eanes ISD. And as we see here on texasschools.gov, they get a 97 out of 100. Their enrollment for the entire school district, all the elementary schools, middle school, and high school included, is 7,809 students. This is the diversity graph here, and they run at about 13 students per teacher. Now, as for the individual schools, they have 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. And if you look over here to the far right, these are kind of small text, but they're all rated as an A. And that's why people will pay more money to get in the Eanes ISD than in other school districts in and around the Austin area. The third pro is its proximity to downtown. I mean, look at this drive through here. It's a beautiful drive through the hill country, and you pop out right down here by Red Bud Isle. Red Bud Isle is a beautiful park where you can take your dogs to the, to go and swim in the water. Here's a picture of it here. It is very, very dog friendly, and put in paddle boards, you can put in your kayak. There's a little picture of the dog that I was talking about. But coming through the back, that puts you at Red Bud Isle. Then right here are some cool restaurants as well. So Hula Hut is one of my favorite restaurants to recommend to people that are coming from out of town, because it is actually sitting out over the water as well. One of their specialties is a tubular taco, but this is the vibe. You've got those little straw hut palapas out there, and it overlooks the water. And in the summer when it's really busy, all these docks will be full of boats, picking up people to go water skiing and having some fun out on the lake. Another notable right here is Mozart's Coffee. They, as the name suggests, have great coffee, but they also are well known for their desserts. So after you go to Hula Hut, you may want to go down to Mozart's for a coffee and dessert. But overall, you can see you're pretty convenient to town, and that's one of the good things about the location of the Austin Country Club. Right up here, you're right on Highway 360. You could also take it up here to the north, which is kind of our second downtown up here at the Domain and the Arboretum right here across the interstate. So you're within 15 minutes of shopping in any direction. In addition, over here at the Bee Caves intersection, you have another shopping district there with your grocery stores and things like that. So overall, a very convenient location to be tucked back in nature as much as you are. All right, the fourth pro of the area is just the outdoor activities you can do. Here is Austin Country Club here. You can see over here that the golf course is right on the lake under that Pennybacker Bridge, but also under the bridge right here, there's a boat ramp. You can put in your boat there. You can put in your boat, your paddleboard or kayak there as well. So you have great access to the town lake right there in the backyard. In addition to being on the water, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the golf course. It is a beautiful 18 holes. If you're into golf, you've probably seen it played, the Dell Match Play Championships on TV. We've got the front nine, which is the true front nine on TV. It's the back nine, but this front nine is on the water. The back nine over here is more along the ravines and cliffs and things. So you have kind of two different styles of golf in the same course. I'm going to go through the pros and cons of the actual golf at the end, so stick around for that. Right now we're just focusing more on the community. And then as far as the country club amenities go, well, you have it all. This Austin Country Club has been around since 1899, so it has the prestige and charming factor that no other club in town has, I would argue. You have your tennis courts, you have pickleball, you have your swimming pool, you have your fitness. So you have all the modern, normal amenities of a country club, but it also just has that level of prestige that you just don't find in too many other places. The final pro for living in the Austin Country Club area is it's safe. So the Austin Country Club Davenport area falls into the city of Westlake. And Westlake was incorporated in the 50s. They have their own EMS, their own police, their own hospitals and everything. So you get that extra layer of security within the community. And if you are in one of the gated communities, which there are many in the area, you have just another layer of added security. All right, that's all wonderful. The pros are great, but what about the cons? I mean, it can't be all sunshine and roses, right? So the first con that we're gonna speak of today is the cost of living. I mean, look in this map here. We dive back into our kind of pricing. We've got 2.9 million, 3.4, 11 million, 1.7, and yes, we do have some lower prices over here at 990 and 875,000. Those are condos at the entry on the highway. But by and large, you're in the multi-millions, and if you do have a water view like this one over here, you're at 17.5 million. So that part of town, being in the Eanes ISD, that wonderful school, or the highest ranking school district, plus all that scenic hill country views and beautiful rolling terrain, it just commands a premium. And so when you live in that area, the cost of living for things around, they kind of follow suit. So trying to get a handyman and getting your lawn done and everything, it's gonna be a little bit more pricey than if you were in a different part of town where the homes were not in the multi-millions. The second con is it's a super competitive real estate market. Again, let's zoom in here on this golf course, and we see we've got some homes. Let me get my marker here so I can point it out a little better. We have some homes on the course here and a few homes on the course over here, but that's about it. So when a home on the golf course comes up for sale, you can imagine you have to beg, scratch, claw, get your way in, because the supply and demand, there are not many homes on the golf course. So when one comes up, it is hugely competitive to try to win that home to be right there on the golf course. The third con is the country club membership is actually full right now. The membership waiting list is years out, and there's no finite way to know how far you rank down the list, because at Austin Country Club, it depends on who you know as to how quickly you get in. Some clubs actually just make a waiting list, and whenever your number comes up, then you get to pay and join. At Austin Country Club, it's not quite like that. You have to have a few members vouch for you, write some letters for you, and then you get voted on. And if you get voted in sooner than someone above you, then that's okay. I think the list is a little bit mysterious. And at last check, the initiation fee was around $100,000. So if you have some patience to wait around for a few years, I'd suggest you get to know some members and get on the list quickly. If you need a couple of introductions, let me know. I can help. Comment below and I'll promise I'll answer you personally. And the last con is traffic congestion. Yes, we have great access to Highway 360 over here, and we can take that little back way into town through Redbud Isle. However, 360 has stoplights all up and down it, and it gets very packed at rush hour. So even though you are right adjacent to a major highway, it does get completely backed up during rush hour. So keep that in mind. If you have to commute somewhere and you have to use 360 going either way, you're going to sit in traffic for a while. All right, now we're going to talk specifically about the country club and the golf course. The amenities at the club are impeccable. You have multiple dining areas, and they are truly upscale fine dining when you want it. And they have the outside by the pro shop that is more casual as well, but it's overlooking the golf course and it's really pretty out there. You have the tennis, pickleball, and swimming and fitness, as I mentioned before, so the actual amenities are complete. They have large locker rooms for both the men and the women, so you'll find people in there playing mahjong and cards and games and things. They do have the Harvey Pinnock room that is males only, so if you're a gal, sometimes you might want to go in there, but you're not allowed. Anyway, if you're a dude, you're gonna like the Harvey Pinnock room. So in addition to the amenities, you're just gonna find that little bit of luxury and prestige that you feel throughout. I mean, the club has been around since 1899, so over the years, they've gotten better and better and better at keeping their product at a very, very high level. So in addition to all those amenities and dining, it is just the premier location in town. It just is so pretty out there. And when you walk in, you just feel that luxury and prestige all over the place. I mean, hey, it's been around since 1899. What can you say? Now, as for the golf course, the pros, it's always in perfect condition. I've never seen a blade of grass out of whack on the greens. They are super fast. They have undulation all in them, so you actually need to be a pretty good putter in order to score well at Austin Country Club. I mean, you could probably say that for any course, but specifically Austin Country Club because it's a Pete Dye design and those greens have a lot of roll to them. In addition to great condition and fast greens, you've got plenty of room to practice. You've got a driving range and you've got short game practice area, huge putting greens so you can get good at putting on those big greens. And then the last pro is it's a Pete Dye design and it's 7,062 yards long from the tips. Some of the cons of the golf course, well, it's a Pete Dye design. I know that I just said that as a pro, but it depends if you like Pete Dye design or not. He has a tendency to make uneven lies in the fairway and some dog legs and some carries and some cutoffs. You've really got to know the course because sometimes you're hitting into some blind tee shots and things like that. So is Pete Dye a pro or a con? Tell me below in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. So along with the Pete Dye design, I just touched on it a little bit, in the fairway doesn't mean you're going to have an even lie. Sometimes in the middle of the fairway you might have a downhill stance or a side hill stance, and in my opinion that's a con on the golf course. And then the last con is that there's a lot of grain in the grass. So sometimes if you're like chipping uphill, the grass is growing really hard into you, so your club will really stick in that grass. Now, oppositely, if you're going with the grain, it's pretty easy to chip off of it, but that is one of the things I notice a lot when playing Austin Country Club is if you're going uphill and into the grain, your club can really stick there and it makes it really challenging to hit a chip shot or a pitch shot especially. All right, let's look at some of the golf course and I'll tell you what we're seeing as we go through it. This is the front 9 here, the holes that are fronting on the lake trap or on Lake Austin, and you see that Pennybacker Bridge there through the trees. And this hole right down here on the left is a par 5, it's number 3. You can reach it in 2, but you have trouble all along the left. I have lost many a ball in that scenery over there in the water. This is the tee box of hole 17, which is also a reachable par 5. And we're panning over to 18, and you can see how the front side on the water changes drastically from these views on the back side. Here's another view of 18. You're gonna tee off down here into this narrowing fairway. You can leave it up on top so you have a flat lie, or you can take the challenge of trying to thread the needle here and get down to this flat lie, and then you have a shorter shot in. But you can definitely see the difference between these holes through the hill country versus the holes on the lake. And here is one of the holes that actually has houses alongside it. You can see back up here in the distance, this is a par 4, it is number 14, and it's not too long, but you tee off out here and then you have a short wedge, probably a 9-iron or so, into the green, so you can see the houses that actually do front the golf course. And lastly, this is the pro shop area, the outdoor patio where you can sit out and have a drink and overlooking this little waterfall. That's the practice green out there. In the distance is another practice green in hole number 1, and then this rock formation here is the tee box for number 10. So not all the holes are long at Austin Country Club. Like this one is not long at all, but the shorter the holes are, the tougher the greens are. So if you miss the green on number 10 or number 1, both kind of short holes, you are in a world of trouble because it just rolls off into maybe even lost ball territory. So that's kind of Pete Dye's signature. You have to be super accurate from the fairway. And you also have to hit the fairway. Thank you so much for sticking around today for our tour of the Austin Country Club area. We've got great schools, beautiful scenery, upscale living, kind of the luxury lifestyle. It's not so great with the cost of living and the membership waiting list. However, it's a wonderful community, and I suggest if you want to get in there in the future, you get on the list now. And if you want to know more about the neighborhood or you want to see some homes in person, we're always available. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, because we want to help you find the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. Until next time, I hope to see you on the links.